very interesting activity that we typically do when we are meeting in person, when we are going to a conference, seminar, or workshop, other than obviously understanding concept and absorbing knowledge from the wonderful speakers who are there. Another activity that we typically do is to network and connect with other participants or business owners who are part of that session. So let's also do that, although we are connecting digitally here, but many business owners similar to you are also here as part of this session, right? So that's where it is a great opportunity for everyone and anyone to leverage. So let's do that parallelly. I'm not forcing you that you must do it, but it is a great thing if you're doing. You'll be, God knows, you may be able to find a buyer or supplier in today's session. Now, today's session is a very special one and something which is very close to my heart, because this is where I'm going to explain to you how you can use digital technology for the B2B business. Because if we talk about digital and even in the mainstream media, or if you are regular online and that's where you're very closely monitoring the latest developments, etc., which are happening, most of it, I'll not say all of it, but majority of it is more focused about the retail aspect of it, B2B aspect of it, but equally digital can be leveraged for B2B businesses and how you can do that. So today's session, as I mentioned earlier, it is a very special session that we are doing here today. So in today's session, I'm going to explain to you how you can leverage digital. And that's where I'll not just be talking you or walking you through slides, which definitely I'll be doing. Some part of the presentation or some part of today's session will be presentation where I will be explaining to you how you can leverage digital to grow your business. But in addition to that, I will also be doing a live demonstration, which I'll be doing towards the later half of the session. But today will be a mix wherein I'll be sharing insight how the current process or the typical processes are, how you can make them better using digital. And then I will also show you that this is how it happens, this is how you can actually do it. It is actually a solution which is available. All you have to do is to start utilizing it. All right, so that was a quick bit about these sessions or this particular session. Now, I mentioned that we should use this time for networking amongst ourselves. So let me take the initiative. We still have 2 minutes to go, and then we'll get started with today's session. All right, so I proposed that we should start networking amongst each other, but I'm not sure if anyone is feeling very confident at the moment. So let me take the initiative and let me start sharing the details. Now, obviously, because we are not connecting physically or personally, and we are in a virtual mode, and that also in a webinar where obviously you cannot unmute yourself when you're going to start talking, but you can still chat with everyone. So I'm just sharing my introduction and details with everyone here today. So you can see in the chat, I've added those. So please do feel free to connect and network with me. And similarly, you can also share details about your business, what products or services you're offering, where are you located, your contact details. If you have an online store or a website, you should include that link. And in case you have a specific requirement, if you're looking for a supplier of certain products, etc., or if you're looking for certain suppliers or service providers, in that case, you can also mention that there is a possibility that one of your future service provider is part of the session, or they may be knowing someone who is really good at it, and they may introduce you, right? So let's also use that opportunity. The chat can be used by anyone. So it is not like I can only send you the chat. You can also send it to me or to anyone who's part of the session. Now, let's use the last 1 minute to understand how we'll be conducting this session. So in next few seconds, I'll start sharing my screen, and that's where I will take you through a presentation, a small one, and then we will go into the live demo of the solution, and then we'll break into the question answer round, right? So If you have any question, any query, or anything which is not very clear to you, that's where there in the bottom of your screen, you'll see there's an option called Q&A. You can use that option to ask your question. Although you can also add your question in the chat, but that's where I would not advise, because sometimes there's a lot of exchange happening in the chat, and there is a possibility that your question might get missed out. All right. So that's where add your question in the Q&A section. All right. So let's begin. And once again, welcome everyone to the session. I can see there's one participant who has raised their hand. So is there a specific issue? You can share that with me through chat, or otherwise we'll get started with today's session. So let's begin. I am going to start share my screen, and then we'll proceed ahead. So give me a few seconds to start sharing my screen. All right. So let's begin with today's session. And this is where we are going to explain to you how to digitize your order management and distribution network to boost sale. Now, this is not just related to distribution network or someone who is in consumer product category. If you are a B2B seller, then you'll find this webinar informative. All right. So let's move ahead. A small introduction about myself. I'm the speaker in today's webinar. My name is Adnan. You already might be knowing that. And I am Director SME E-commerce Growth at Global Inker. My functional or my focus area at Global Inker is the website development or e-commerce website platform or digital catalog platform, Linka.store, and other digital commerce related initiatives at Global Inker. In addition to that, I actively work on educating or guiding businesses on how they can use digital to grow their business, because you understand, or you may be knowing that Global Inker is a platform that is striving to help micro and small businesses grow their business, especially digitally. And that's where we understand that a lot of businesses who are trying to digitize themselves, who are trying to grow digitally, they struggle with that because they don't have knowledge. Or a lot of time, even if the solution is very simple to use, it is just that psychological factor that we have that fear. Because whenever someone says website or e-commerce website or anything digital, we form an impression in our head that, oh, it is technical, we'll need to have a specialized degree, we need to have coding knowledge, etc. Right? So we start forming that kind of impression or that kind of thoughts in our mind that okay, if I have to do something digitally, if I'm wanting to grow business digitally, I may need additional resource, or I may have to hire new people, etc. Those kind of thoughts, because it is technical, will not be able to do that. Right? So those kind of thoughts start coming in. So that's where we conduct a lot of training sessions and webinar to help our business owners like you understand how easy it is to use today's technology and how you can use that to grow your business digitally. All right. So that was a brief introduction about myself. I've conducted like more than 300 webinars and training sessions, and have been blessed to interact and guide about 12,000 businesses around the world. All right. So that was a brief introduction about myself. Let's move on and let's understand the topics for today's discussion. So in today's discussion, we'll be just focusing on like three important aspects. We'll understand how it typically happens, the conventional B2B commerce, how it is typically done, and how you can use digital to make it better. And then also with the third topic is how we can improve our B2B relationships, how we can make them better. And lastly, we'll break into the question answer round. All right, so let's move on to the first section in today's discussion, B2B sales, how it is typically done. Let's understand. So this where for everyone's understanding, I have divided the B2B sales or B2B sellers, you can see into two parts. One is industrial product, second is consumer product, right? So if we start from the industrial product side, so industrial products, you may have regular buyers, so like routine buyers. So for example, you are a manufacturer of paint and I am a manufacturer of furniture. So I will have a regular requirement from you, right? I'll be periodically buying. And we may have some commercial term and understanding between us that this is the special discount that you'll get, and these are the payment terms, etc. So we may have some sort of understanding between us. So that is the standardized price. So there is a standardized price understanding between us. Now there can be a different variation also. So for example, I am buying from you, and that's where you are giving me a 10% discount. Whereas there's another gentleman who owns a larger setup, and when they are buying, you are giving them 12% discount, right? So there can be a differentiated discount also, right? So you are offering different rates depending on who is buying from you and what quantities they are buying. And obviously, it is a regular relationship. So every month or every quarter, they are buying from you. They are your regular buyers. So that is one type of B2B transactions which are happening. And second is ad hoc buyers. So ad hoc buyers are typically where you are doing some marketing initiative, whether promoting it through events, webinars, or seminars, or not seminars, events means exhibitions, or through other mediums, and that's where you're generating leads and then you're servicing them. So that is the ad hoc buying which happens. So that is more of the industrial product side or non-consumer product side, if I have to say. And then we have the consumer product side, which is here. Now here we have different layers. So for consumer product, typically when the products are sold, they are sold through a distribution channel. So you have like super stockists, distributors, wholesalers, and then retailers, and then it goes to the final customers, right? So there are entities involved, and it sort of drops down, or it flows down top bottom. So from the seller, it goes to distributor, wholesaler, retailer, and there are sometimes bulk buyers also, right? So who are not part of your regular distribution chain, but they periodically or sometime they keep buying from you, right? So we'll try to understand how it is typically done and how you can use digital to improve it. All right, so let's move on, and we'll straight away jump into growing B2B sales by leveraging technology. So let's understand that, and this is where we'll do a slightly deep dive into each of the buying process. And then I'll also explain. So on the one side of the screen, you are seeing a conventional buying process. And on the other side of the screen, you are seeing a digitized B2B buying process, right? So two processes are there. I will walk you through both of the processes, and we'll try to understand how digital can make it more efficient, or how it can add value, no matter how significant or small. It will vary from business to business, but we'll try to understand if it is adding value, right? So let's first look at the conventional model. We'll start off with a B2B seller. So just imagine that you are a B2B seller, and then you receive a requisition that these are regular buyers. I missed to update you the regular buyers, which you can see here, right? So from a regular buyer, you receive a requisition that we are interested to buy these products, and that's where you send a quotation. So that is step number 2, which you are seeing here. So you send a quotation to your B2B buyer, and then they send you a purchase order, and then you deliver the product, and after that, payment is settled. Now, what are the issues or challenges with this process? First is it is in time and effort intensive, right? So there are too many flows, to and fro's are happening. So it requires multiple exchanges, and it requires time as well as human effort. And that's the second point as well. Multiple exchanges are required, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 exchanges are already happening, and there is a possibility of human error, right? So someone has written or created a purchase order with pen, and that's where they have written 30, whereas your guy reads it 80. They supply more than what is required, and then it comes back. So it's a loss for your business. So those kind of human errors are also possible, and data analytics, etc., is not easily possible because data is not available digitally, or if you have to digitize that data, it also requires an effort. So very easily you cannot do an analysis. It is not like it is impossible. Everything is possible. If you put in an effort, you'll be able to do that. But obviously it will require additional effort, additional money, additional time to do that, right? So you'll not be easily able to do. So those are few issues with or few drawbacks of the conventional buying process. Now let's understand the digitized buying process. How will it happen? So this where what is happening is, as a B2B seller, you have told all your regular buyers, hey, I've onboarded you, go to our platform, log in through this number of yours, through an OTP, and then you can review the products, add them to the cart and place an order. And once we receive the order, we'll deliver it. And then the payment settlement happen based on whatever terms you have with your regular buyers, right? So this is where, if I'm quickly explaining the process, so this is where your B2B buyer, it is starting from here. So they are just going to your digital catalog. Now, this digital catalog can display standardized price. So irrespective who is buying, you have standardized price. Those are for B2B buyers. Those are bulk prices, but they are standard, right? So no matter if Adnan is buying or Suresh is buying or Ramesh is buying, all of them will get the same pricing. So that's one possibility. Or another possibility is that you have differentiated pricing. So you'll get 10% to discount to Adnan, 12% to Ramesh, and 20% to Suresh. So depending on who's buying what quantity, based on that, you'll be giving them, or you'll be having a different arrangements with them. So that is also possible in your digital catalog. And then all they have to do is to select what all they would want to purchase and place an order. The order comes to you, you process that order and deliver it to the B2B buyer. So no to and fro, no exchanges, nothing, all through a system very efficiently. Let's understand few of the points related, or few of the highlights or benefits of the digitized B2B process. So one benefit is, obviously, it is 365 days and 24 hours operational. So there's no downtime at any given point of time. Even like at 4 a.m., if a B2B buyer wants to buy something from you, they can do that. They don't have to wait for your office to be operational, or for a response from one of your employees. They don't have to wait. It is always on, mostly automated. So this where, other than delivery, which you'll be doing through your logistic operator, other than that, it is mostly operated, mostly autonomous. So that's where no human intervention is required. And that's where the possibility of human error is minimized. It is not absolutely eliminated, because obviously buyer can do a mistake, right? So they wanted to buy 10 units, but accidentally they added 20 units. And it has happened with me, and you'll agree, it may have also happened with you. We were buying groceries for ourselves, and that's where accidentally, instead of buying like 1 unit, we ordered 2 units. And when the order was delivered, that's where we realized that we actually ordered in excess. So those kind of human errors are possible. They cannot be absolutely eliminated, but yes, to a great extent, those are eliminated, because the entire system is autonomous and minimal or new human intervention is required. Data analysis is absolutely easy, because the entire data is digital. So all you have to do is to understand what all metrics you would want to look at, and then you can start doing the data analysis or forecasting. And it also facilitates quick expansion. Now, this is where you might be getting a little confused. What does this mean? So if you look at this model, which you have on this side of the screen, this is the conventional model. That's where there is a challenge to it. There's a challenge, or there's a barrier to scalability. How so? So for example, today you have a 5-person team that supports, let's say, 20 regular buyers. Now, if you want to increase that from 20 regular buyers or 20 B2B regular buyers to, let's say, 100, then you also have to expand this 5-member team. You cannot do using the same 5-member team. You cannot support 100 members, because there will be a lot of effort on the human side, or there's a lot of human effort also involved in this process, right? So you have to expand your team. then only you can scale up, right? So your scale is proportional to how large is your team in this kind of process. Whereas here, because most of it is digital, so you don't have to increase, so right? So the same 5-member team can also support like 200 regular buyers or 500 or 1,000 regular buyers, because there is a very limited human involvement. Most of it is autonomous. You need reconciliation or order processing. That's all will be required, and most of it will keep happening automatically. So that is how you can improve your B2B buying process by adopting digital methods. This is something I shared with you about regular buyers. Now let's understand about ad hoc buyers, because that is also a category where a lot of businesses, I understand, put in good amount of effort and money as well. Now, let's understand how we can make it better using digital. So this is where again a similar kind of layout you are seeing, but this is different. Let me walk you through. Firstly, this is for industrial or non-consumer products, ad hoc buyers. And when I say ad hoc, these are not like regular buyers that are buying regularly from you. These are coming to you through different initiatives that you are doing, if different buyer reach out campaigns or activities that you are doing. Through those activities, these buyers are getting connected with you, and then they are placing an order. Now, they may continue to be your regular buyers, or they may just buy once, but typically these are one-off buyers who are coming to you. Now, this is where let's understand the conventional model first. So we have a B2B seller. We are doing a marketing activity, which is highlighted in this step. Now, through this marketing activity, you get connected with a B2B buyer. Now, that marketing activity can be form of you participating in an exhibition, or that marketing activity can be in form of a ad that you have placed in one of the industry magazines, etc. Right? So there are different ways in which you can run those marketing activity, and I don't think I have to elaborate on that. But through any of the marketing activity that you are doing, or any of the buyer reach out activity that you are doing, you get connected with this buyer, and they have shown interest, right? So that interest goes to your sales team. They understand what they are looking at, and then in step number 3, they send the quotation, and then whatever negotiation etc happens, and after that in step number 4 you get the purchase order, and then finally in step number 5 the delivery happens, right? So that's how it typically. Now, it may be different for you, it may be varying from industry to industry, but this is a sort of a typical or a journal process flow that I have described here. This is how conventionally or typically things are done, right? Now, what is the issues, or what are the challenge areas here? So the first challenge area, and which is quite significant as well, and that is scalability, which is to an extent I've explained that in the previous example as well. And this is where again scalability becomes a challenge, because again, your marketing activities, whatever you are doing, no matter how much you are spending there and how much leads you are generating, if you are not expanding your team, right? So for example, this figure which we have B2B buyers who are showing interest, for example, if it is let's say 100, and which is supported by a 10-member sales team, if we want to increase this to 200, we will need at least 15 members team. If not 20, we'll need at least 50 members team, so that these can be handled at a time. So I'm not seeing like over a period, but if you have to expand the volume, that's where the scalability becomes challenged, because again, it becomes directly proportional that if you're expanding this, you have to expand this. Otherwise, right? So you're expanding the volume, you have to expand the team size as well, or otherwise you'll not be able to manage, or there will be fall-offs, or there will be issues. So scalability starts becoming a challenge. Time and effort intensive, obviously. Like you can see how many steps are there. Multiple exchanges are required. Possibility of human error also remains in this, and data analysis also remains a challenge. It is possible, but will require an effort, right? So that's the conventional model. Now, let's come to the other part of the screen, and that's where we have the digitized B2B buying process. What is? So this is where, again, what you are doing is you are doing a marketing campaign. Now, this is where you are not just limited to the physical campaign. Obviously, you can still continue to participate in exhibition. You can still continue to run ads in your magazines, etc. But you can change the CTA, right? So that's where you can redirect them to the digital catalog which you have here, right? And you can also run digital ads, which is a very powerful medium these days, even for B2B. So you can run digital ads, and that's where you can redirect B2B buyers to your digital catalog, right? So someone came across your ad on LinkedIn, and they liked what you're offering. They'll come to your digital catalog, they'll review your offering, and they will proceed ahead to place an order. Now, there can be a slightly different variation of it. That's where you're not receiving an order, you're receiving an inquiry. So that is also possible, but at least they are connected with you. And then once they have placed the order, all you have to do is to process that order and deliver. In case they are sending an inquiry, there will be just one more step where you are sending them a quotation, they're approving it, and then you are delivering it, right? So a lot of to and fro which typically happens is eliminated or is reduced because you have added a digital catalog in between. Now that digital catalog helps a person understand about your business, about your products, etc., and make up their mind and then proceed ahead to place an order. Now, a lot of people come back to me with a not an argument, but a counter statement that we are in a fairly technical product industry, or that's where buyers may not go to digital catalog, because that's where obviously there is a set mechanism or a set process that we are all accustomed to. But just look at yourself, right? All of us are using smartphone now. Like 20 years ago, how many of us were doing that? Or today, I can't find anyone who does not have an email ID, right? So, like, I'm talking in the business space. Most of the businesses have that, but like 20 years ago, do we had that, right? So we are all changing. We are all accommodating to the change. Now, once you give them the flavor, once you give them the taste that, hey, this is very convenient, obviously they'll do that. And especially the modern buyer, which is now actively taking greater part. So the modern millennials, they are becoming more involved in the business, and majority of the buying or B2B buying is in next 3-4 years will be handled by millennials. So that's where you can imagine your scenario that you don't have a digital presence, and then majority of buyers are not interested to deal with you because you don't have a digital presence, right? So that will be a very tricky scenario for you. So that's where digital catalog will help you eliminate a lot of that. Not 100%. It is not like you'll be able to eliminate everything. Obviously, they may have questions, they may have queries, or they may want to connect with you like we are connecting here today, right? So there can be ifs and buts still, but a lot of that can be digitized, can be systematized, and a lot of manual human effort that you're putting at the moment can be automated. That by giving you time and effort and money to increase this pipeline, increase this one, so that you can scale up your business a lot better. One of the biggest advantage that I have written here is the scalability. You can easily scale, increase the scale. You don't have to increase your manpower to scale up. So this system on its own will be able to like manage hundreds or thousands of inquiries coming even parallelly, not over a period of time. Even simultaneous consecutive users are there, it will be easily able to handle thousands of them very easily. All you have to do is to work on the post order and delivery processes, etc., right? Needless to mention, it will be 365 days, 24 hours operational. It is mostly automated. Data analysis, forecasting, planning, etc., is very easy to do. And you can expand, you can grow your business a lot quickly using these kinds of solutions. Let's move on to understand the consumer product buying process, and then how you can use digital to improve or make that better. So on one side of the screen, as we have seen earlier, we have the conventional model, and on the other side of the screen, we have the digitized model. So in the conventional model, we have a seller, we have a B2B seller. They are consumer product manufacturer in this case, and then they have a sales team. So whenever you have to get orders from your distribution network, your sales team will visit them in person, they'll call them or they'll message them, and they'll seek orders from them. And then your distributors, retailers, bulk buyers, etc., will give the purchase order, and then you will deliver it. So again, multiple to and fro, scalability becomes a problem, time and effort, multiple exchanges are required, possibility of human error always remains. 30 and 80 example that I explained to you earlier, and data analysis, although is possible, but requires effort. So that is how it typically happens. Now, scalability is a significant challenge here because, for example, if you have a network of, let's say, 100 retailers, so and today you have a team that is managing it. Tomorrow, if you have to go to 200, you'll have to expand your team exponentially and other resources exponentially to manage that. Whereas with the digital system, because most of the steps are automated, you'll be able to easily do that. So let's understand the digital buying process. So this where the B2B or the B2B seller, they don't have to like get into the order seeking part of it. Obviously, you can definitely call or remind someone, hey, you haven't placed your order, your delivery will get delayed. So you can obviously get into those kind of activities or those kind of reminders. You can send that, hey, it's been overdue, you haven't placed an order, what's the issue, right? So you can do that. But most of them will be directly going to your interface, looking for whatever they have to buy, and then they will be directly placing an order. So they'll go to your digital catalog as part of step number 1, and they will review your products and place an order, and that will come to you in step number 3. You will deliver those items to your retailers, distributors, bulk buyers. Now, this is where I've just added them to one element. You can like break them down just for your understanding. But this is where scalability, which is a significant challenge in the conventional model, is not existent here. So because it is all happening digitally and it is at their convenience at any time. So for example, there's a store owner that gets free at 9 p.m. They can easily take out their smartphone and punch in whatever they are wanting to buy, and the order comes to you. The next day, your team processes it and delivers it. So, right. So that's how it becomes convenient. It is mostly automated. Data analysis, forecasting, pre-planning, all that will be easily possible. And expansion, you can aggressively expand your networks from like 300 to 500, from 100 to 500, you can easily grow without adding a single person to your team, because majority is handled digitally. All right. So let's move on to the relationship side of it. And that is where we'll try to understand how to improve relationship. Now, when it comes to relationship, if you consider, like, if I say that I have a good relationship with you, what does that mean? What does having a good relationship mean? So this is where one of the things that might be there, and you may also agree, not might be, it is there. In any good relationship, there is a regular, continuous communication and connect, which is there, right? So, for example, if we are talking regularly, so obviously we have a rapport amongst ourselves. Or if you're seeing information about me as well, we have a good rapport. So there's a constant connect which is happening. If you want to say something to me, I am listening to that, I am getting that information. Similarly, if I have to update you about something or inform you about something, you are getting that, right? So I'm not saying that we are meeting in person and over a cup of coffee, not that, but if you're talking, and that talking can happen digitally as well. So that's where if we are communicating effectively, that's where we will have a good relationship, right? So that good relationship will get built if we constantly keep in good connect, right? So, and now when it comes to keeping in touch, right? And I'm excluding the professional side of it. If you have to keep in touch, what is the medium that we are using these days, right? So, two of the common mediums that we are using, one is Facebook, second is WhatsApp, right? Both are digital mediums. If you have to stay in touch with someone, we are either talking to them over WhatsApp messages, etc., or Viber, or we are connecting with them or seeing what they are doing, what are the new uh, updates or happenings in their life, right? So we are reviewing all that, although we are not in person talking to them, but reviewing all that on a digital platform. Now, just turn that around, right? So instead of me being a person, if I am an organization and you are connected with me on a digital medium, you and other B2B buyers like you, they are all connected to me on a digital medium. And whenever I'm launching a new product or whenever there's an update from my side, you all get informed. And similarly, if you have a problem, if you have an issue, then share that with me. There's a point of contact which is available, right? So will that help in building good relationship? I believe it will. Let's understand this very quickly over a slide, and then we'll go into the demonstration of the solution, because so far I mean just explaining to you the flows and the processes and how it can be done digitally, and then I'll actually show it to you as well, right? So again, we have divided the screen into two parts. On one side we have the conventional, on the other side we have the digital. Now let's understand the conventional, and this is where I've used the consumer product distribution channel example, because that's where it is a little more complex, but it is equally difficult in a industrial product B2B buyer relationship management. It is equally difficult, but this is where it is slightly more complex. That's why I've included this example in case you're getting you're feeling that why it is just one that example. So it is just for simple reason. So we have B2B seller, and that's where if you are communicating something, so this is our step number one. That's where you want to communicate something, you will transmit it to your sales team who is in touch with your distribution network, right? So they'll transmit it to the sales team, and then distributor, retailer, wholesaler, and retailer, all that information just flows down. So it will go from sales team to distributor, from distributors, wholesalers, wholesalers to retailers, right? So it will sort of drip down or percolate down to that level. And the red arrows that we have here, those represent feedback. So feedback again comes from one level to finally sales team, and then from the sales team it comes back to you, right? So those communication can be offers, launches, campaigns, etc. Whatever you are doing, that's how it is transmitted and circulated. Now, what are the concerns or challenges that are there? So there's a time lag and loss of information. One is time lag, which is there. So obviously it has to go through multiple steps. So there is a delay in transmission of the information. Second is there's a loss of information, right? So we are talking amongst ourselves, and I say something to you, I explain this concept to you. Now, tomorrow, when you are explaining this concept to someone, obviously you'll not be saying word to word that I am saying. You'll be explaining it in your way, and there is a loss of information that can also happen. And this is time and effort intensive. Obviously, it requires time for the information to like go from here to there to there to there, all the way down, and then similarly from there to all the way up in case a feedback is coming. Possibility of human bias, that is a very common problem, and many not many, few years ago during the pandemic, we did an exercise. That's where we worked with the government of India, and that's where we worked on a project called Kirana Linka. That's where we digitized some around 3,000 plus grocery stores across India. And that's where when we were talking to a lot of grocery retailers, front-end retailers in tier 3 cities, one of the concern that many of them expressed was the bias that was being done by certain sales reps or by distributor, etc. Right? So they were supplying to one of their relatives, but not to them. So those kind of biases in distribution, as well as disseminating or sharing information, can also happen. So there's a possibility of personal bias that can happen, and analysis and reporting is difficult. Can be done, but is difficult. Now we have digitized communication network or communication process. Now this is where what is happening is you bring all that community. So all your distributor, retailers who are, or all your bulk buyers become part of a community. So they are all together in a community. Now you can talk to them very easily, right? So they are part of a community. And this is where it is like you have your own Facebook, and you have added all your bulk buyers to that Facebook, right? Have your own Facebook, and you have all your bulk buyers on that Facebook. You can easily talk to them, right? So that's what it is happening here. Step number one, you are just sharing the communication. It goes to all of them. And if there is a feedback, that can easily come back to you, because it is again digitally connected. So one is it is instant. The moment you will post, they'll get that information. It is 24/365, so everyone can access as per their convenience. It has a very efficient feedback loop. So because the feedback does not requires a filtration, or there's no filter involved, it directly comes to you. So that is another, and it helps you run promotions efficiently or campaigns efficiently. Because if you understand, if you're trying to do a virtual visual merchandising campaign, right, you want people to dress up their storefronts in a particular way. To just to pass on that information and educate everyone that this, hey, this is how you have to dress up your storefronts, is quite an exercise. And when you have done that, getting that feedback back to the brand that, hey, this is how we have done, this is how the other person has done, this is how the other person has done, that is also a challenge. But with this kind of solution, all that can happen through a single solution and very effortlessly. All right. So I will also demonstrate how this is this works. But this where what I'll do is I'll switch my screen, and I will quickly take you to uh, now the live demonstration of the solution, because I had been suggesting a lot of things, a lot of processes to you. Now, how does that happen, right? So is this just a aspirational thing or something we are proposing that this is how it should be done? But is there a solution which right now you can use? Yes, there is a solution, and I will demonstrate that using this example. It is a hypothetical brand that we have created to demonstrate the capability. Now, we are using this particular food category because it is something that we can easily relate to. It is a common product that we all use. We can easily relate to it. So this is a dual purpose store, as we call it. So dual purpose is, at one end, it is serving the B2C customers who are coming to buy products for themselves. And at the other end, it is also serving the B2B customers. How it does, let me explain to you. So we are here on the website. Now, just imagine that I am one of the B2B buyers, and they have already onboarded them onto the solution. I'm aware that I have to now buy products from my business. So I come here, I just scroll down. There's a special login which is created for me. I'll go there. I enter my contact number like this. I click on login. I will receive an OTP. I'll just wait a few seconds for the OTP to come. For some reason, it is taking longer now. I have just received it. So I've entered the OTP. Now this where just I'm just reiterating the scenario that I am a B2B bulk buyer who is associated with this seller, and this seller has already onboarded me. When I say onboarded, the terms which are agreed upon me that whenever I am buying, I'll get a 10% discount, I'll get certain credit, etc. All that is agreed and that is set up in the system. Now they have given me the information that I can use this number. I can come to this website, log in, and then I can place my order. So I am currently doing the login part. So I'm clicking on login and I am logged in. Now I can go through categories and I can select what all I would want to buy. Now, just for the benefit of time, if we are interested in buying this for my business, this particular shoe for my business, here you can see I am getting the agreed 10% discount, right? And here you can see another value. This quantity is 15. Now it is locked at 15. So no matter how much I click or what I do, I will not be able to reduce it. If I want to increase it, I can do that, but I will not be able to reduce it. So sometimes it is a pack size requirements. For example, if we take Pepsi, Coke as an example, or soft drinks as an example, they have a pack size, like, so they have a 12 bottle pack, a 24 bottle pack. So that can be one scenario in which this minimum order quantity can be used, or there can be a mutual understanding that, hey, Adnan, whenever you are buying, you are a bulk buyer. Whenever you are buying, I'll give you 10% discount, but you will have to buy minimum 15 units. So that can be another scenario, but that can also be accommodated by the system. Here you can see the minimum order quantity is also pre-populated. Now, all I have to do is to do an add to cart and add these products to my cart. I've already done that. So let me just quickly take you to the checkout page and show you one more feature. And this is where you can see there's a credit. So if you look at the order total, this is 00. Now, this is where you might be wondering that there's something wrong with their system. Why? How come someone is placing an order for zero value? So we have this credit option also available in the system. So in certain businesses, the buying happens, the B2B buying happens on credit. The buyers are given a 30-day credit, a 45-day credit, or a week credit, etc. Right? So those kinds of credits are given. So that B2B buying can be done this way as well. So you can give credit to your B2B buyers. So this where in the system, when they onboarded me, they have added this credit, and now you can see I can use this credit while I'm placing the order. So all I have to do is to proceed and place an order, and the order gets placed. So this is where, imagine all those scenarios that I had explained to you earlier, right? So for a moment, I'll just take you back to the presentation and we'll just go back few slides, right? So this where I showed you this solution. This is for regular buyers. So this is where I'm a regular buyer. You have onboarded me, right? I can come here. I can do the OTP login, right? You can connect with that. So I did a OTP login and I went here, right? I added products to the cart, and now I can place an order, and all they have to do is to do the delivery, right? So that's how easily it can happen, right? And then for ad hoc buyers, this is where what you can do is instead of for regular buyers, because there's a special discount that you're offering. So that's where you can have this kind of an experience. For regular buyers, you can have products on your website which have the B2B prices and a minimum order quantity associated with it. They can simply come to your website, add products to the cart, and place an order. So that can also be done using the same interface or same features. Then you have this kind of a feature which can also be accommodated, or distributor, retailer, or bulk buyer, whosoever it is. You can specify how much they have to buy, how much discount they'll get, how much quantity they have to buy, and what will be the credit period. All that can be managed through the system itself. Now, there are a few other aspects to it. So I'll, for a moment, quickly switch my screen and take you to the seller panel. This is from the digital websites or digital catalogs control panel. I'm just taking you there very quickly for just quickly showcasing two aspects. One is the discount, credit, MMQ, etc. management. So this is where a lot of people get confused that how come you have different, you can have different credits or different discounts being given to different people. How can that happen? So this where you can come and you can create different discount slabs, and similarly you can create different credit slabs, MOQ slabs, and product visibility control is also there. So you can control the visibility of product, who sees what. And then when you are onboarding your trade partners, that's where you can specify at how much credit they will get. So for example, if I'm showing you this example, so this is Superior Shoes, and this is where we have specified that they'll get high discount, high credit, high MOQ as well, and there's no visibility restriction, right? So that is possible, right? So that's how you can give a differentiated discount. In case you don't want to do that, you don't want to get into nitty-gritty, you have a standard discount that if you're buying this much quantity, you'll get this. If you're buying that much quantity, you can just create 2 slabs, and then you'll be able to give those discounts. All right. So this is how your ordering part of it, which requires quite a bit of to and fro, all that can be made seamless and very easy to use. Now, the second part of it was around communication. Let's understand the communication aspect. So this is where we are logged into the website. Right now, this is the live solution. Now, this is where you can see there is this special trade partner community. I've already opened that here for the benefit of time. Now, this is the trade partner community. You recall I was telling you that if you have your own Facebook or your own LinkedIn, where you have only your trade partners, only your B2B buyers all together on that one platform, and it is exclusively for you. So no disturbance, no messages, nothing from others, only for you, and you have all of them together. Will that help you in staying in touch with them? Will that help you in connecting and communicating with them easily? Yes, it will. And this is how you can do that. This is the trade partner community feature, which is available. Now, here, if I show you this, where you have your business branding, etc. Now here you have brand updates. You can easily add an update, and you can also attach a file, and you can share it with the entire trade partner community. So this is where your updates are coming. This is where you can do a post, right? And you can see the interface. So let me just quickly do a post. I will read after a message. So I will just copy paste that here. I've added an image. I'll click on post. And here you can see we have added a post that there's a meetup happening. So that is how easily now any distributor can review it, comment it, and I will show you the distributor's view. On the top, you have very brief analytics, and then you have an invitation. So whenever you want to invite a trade partner to join this community, you can do it through multiple mediums. You can send them an email, one user at a time. You can do it in bulk, or you can simply give them a link and they can join your trade partner community. On the top, you have schemes and offers. So if you're running any scheme and offer, you can show them here. Then you have your contacts. So many times B2B buyer, when they want to connect with someone from your team, they find it difficult if the person who was talking to you has left the organization, and it becomes very difficult to stay in touch with that company. But this is where one of the point of contact is always available, and you can connect with them. And then these are resources. So I was telling you about that visual merchandising example. If you have to share how you have to dress up your storefront, you can add all the content here, tutorial video, etc. All that can be added and shared with the entire user base. And whenever they are done, they can share their work very easily with share back what they have done very easily with you. And lastly, you have certain offers which are Global Linker offers, or the offers which are available on the Global Linker platform, which you can also pass on to your trade partner community. So this is how, as a seller, you'll be managing it. This is how it is looking to you. Let's see how it is looking to a distributor. So I'll switch the screen and show you. This is how it is looking to a distributor. So they can see the updates which are there from your side. These are the update, and this is the post that we have done. Right now, as a seller, we can add a comment like this, or we can like it or add, share it. All that is possible. On the top, what all actions do we have to do? And then resources are available here. We can download it. Offers are there. And I was mentioning you that you can connect with a representative from the seller, and this is where you can connect and you can send them a message, right? So all these options are available. This is a live solution which is available, and in case you are interested to use this solution, then you can let us know. We will connect with, help you connect with one of our onboarding specialists. They'll understand your requirement and they'll help you out with the next steps. So I can see there are a bunch of comments in the chat, and then I can see there are 5 questions. So let's break into the question answer round. The first question that I can read, and it's the user hasn't shared their name, is how to get orders on the Global Linker platform. Now, obviously, it is a very vast subject, and I would love to do a webinar around that. But very quickly, in 1 minute, if I have to share with you a few tips on how you can get orders on the Global Linker platform. So that's where Global Linker is a business networking platform. So you have to leverage the networking opportunity. So search for businesses who are in your business category. If you're not your competition, but your buyers, so your prospective buyers, look for those businesses, connect with them, and share details about your offerings, and try to get orders from them. That is how you can get started with it. Other than that, there are other platforms also available on Global Linker, not other platform, other initiatives which are also there. For example, for export, if you are an exporter, you can join Indian Business Portal, which is a platform to promote Indian export. And in case you are interested to understand more, and join us tomorrow. We are doing a session about Indian Business Portal, and that's where if you're an exporter, you can showcase your products to international buyers. I hope I've answered that question. We are interested to join. Please, your package detail. So I am sharing my contact details with everyone. So if you are interested in this solution, please do reach out to me, and I will get you connected. So I'm just sharing my contact details in the chat. Rupal wants to know what will be the total cost to build the digital platform and who will do it effectively. So the entire solution can be done by the Global Linkers team as a turnaround solution or a turnkey solution. All you have to do is to get connected with me. So I've shared my contact details. Drop me an email or a WhatsApp message, and I will get you connected with an onboarding specialist from our side. Next question is by Smita. Is there a charge per conversion? No, we don't charge per conversion. Yes, Smita, absolutely. You can share your contact details, and I'll get you connected with an onboarding specialist. So just drop me a WhatsApp message or an email, and I'll get you connected. So those were the questions that I could see in the Q&A. Now I am quickly looking at the messages which are there in the chat. And most of the questions are repeated in the chat as well, but I can see there's a question by Javed Khan, and he has having an issue in editing the company name. So Javed, again, I've shared my contact details. Drop me a message with your contact details, and I'll have someone from the help desk team reach out to you and help you with the issue that you're facing. All right. So this is where I don't see any questions. But so this is where we can conclude this session for today. I hope you found the session informative. And if you need any further clarification, or if you need a demo of the solution, or you would want to proceed ahead and want to understand what are the next steps, etc. So that's where just share your information with me, drop me an email or a WhatsApp message, and I will get you connected with a onboarding specialist from our side. All right. So thank you everyone for taking our time and participating in this session. Have a